Appreciate you, man. All right, let's get into it, boys. Let's talk a little injury report here. I've never been so happy to get the news that we got on an injured player for the Packers. Last week we were talking about, boy, we don't want to see Zack Tom playing this week because of the oblique. Let him rest up. Well, we'll kind of skip ahead here a little bit. As Matt Schneidman said, Zack Tom with the oblique, Aaron Banks with the groin, and Javon Bullard in concussion protocol. All three of those players did not practice today. And then Adam Schefter fired out a tweet roughly 7 hours ago. Packers right tackle Zack Tom is not expected to play Sunday night versus the Cowboys due to the oblique injury he suffered in the loss at Cleveland. Per source, Green Bay has a bye next week to reassess how Tom is feeling and whether he can return in week 6 versus the Bengals. Let's go around the horn with that one before we dive into the rest of the injury report, gents. I'm happy about this, man. Set that man down. And listen, I don't care if it results in a loss this week. Having Zack Tom healthy and finally getting that oblique injury behind him, I think is the most important priority here.
I agree. And I mean, Shefty's not wrong here, but it's a little deceiving, right? I don't know if he suffered the oblique injury in Cleveland. Right. He already had an oblique injury and shouldn't have been out there. Lasted one snap. So hopefully at this point, we've learned our lesson, right? Let's hold this man out until he's, as close to 100% and can really go. I'm assuming that what he's got going on is extremely painful and it's extremely difficult to play through something like that. And, you got to tip your cap to Zack Tom for trying to grit through that. We saw some of the practice footage. He was moving pretty gingerly on the practice field and still tried to make a go of it, but I think the best course of action is to give him an extended bye week here and hold him out in Dallas. And give me Big Escalade out there. Let me see 71, yes. Anthony Belton. Go ahead and give him the start. Let's throw him into the fire and see if he can hold that spot down until we get Zack Tom back. That's how I feel.
Yeah. What about you, Jacob? How you feeling about it, man?
Yeah, I'm totally down with that. It was a shame that I don't want to say we forced him back. Whatever the conversation was, he went in. It was one play. It looked terrible. To Jen's point, it was hard to see him so emotional on the sideline because you could tell that that's a dude that just wanted to come out there and play for his team, and he just physically couldn't. And that's something I never want to put I say I as if I'm the GM over here. By the way, if I am Goody, you're out of here, Emilio. I'm just thinking that it is something that we have to stop and think about. And, I sit him for a week. If he needs 2 weeks, sit him for 2 weeks, whatever the case is. To Clayton's point, I want to see him down the stretch more than I need him right now.
Yeah. And reading Adam's tweet, it's, Zack Tom not expected to play Sunday. Then helps to reassess how Tom's feeling and whether he can return to week 6 at the Bengals. It's like, hey, is he playing this weekend or is he not? At this point, just tell us that he's out. We already know that we should have sat him last week. So, I don't know why we're trying to force it. It's early. We got an early bye. We were worried about the early bye in the off season when we first got the schedule. Now we're kind of happy about it. It's going to get us a chance to, get squared away and figure out what needs to happen. But yeah, sit the man down, let him rest. We've drafted, we've brought in a couple guys. Obviously, our biggest issue is Glover's not out there to step in and take that spot. So if we don't have Glover, I'd say let's get Belton out there. Canardi, if he steps up, we'll keep him out there, but we need to be able to rotate that tackle there. We need someone that can fill in.
Yeah, shout out to John Baker, became a member here on YouTube. Appreciate you, John. We will make sure you're in the giveaway this week, which we're going to be spinning the pinky wheel and giving away an autographed Lucas Van Ness rookie card, and it's actually a picture of him. The picture on the card, it says Leaf Draft 2023. It's got him in his Iowa uniform. Really, really cool piece of memorabilia there. I don't know if you could see it well enough or not, but anybody who's a member on YouTube or a member of our Patreon group, the $3 tier or higher, we'll make sure that we put your name into the hat and just a way for us to give back to those who are supporting the channel. Appreciate you, John. In terms of right tackle, since this kind of goes with the conversation, we'll spend a couple minutes on this. I want to go around the horn real quick. I think I've got a hot take here, and it might not be so hot to you guys, but the fact that Jordan Morgan was a first-round pick, I think many Packer fans will go, what are you talking about? I don't want to see Jordan Morgan back on the field unless he's playing left tackle. And listen, I understand it was a first-round pick and this and that. And when I say that, I mean, listen, if your starter goes down, yes, play him in another position. That's cool. But I do not want to see him starting on the offensive line unless he's playing left tackle. And I'm not saying he should start over Sheed, although I would love to see what that looks like, because Rasheed Walker is praying to sweet baby Jesus, or thanking sweet baby Jesus that Jordan Morgan is on this team, because Jordan Morgan is catching the rap of this fan base in terms of the offensive line that people are kind of piling on right now. Rasheed Walker played like cheeks the other night. So I feel like I would like to see Jordan Morgan play left tackle and then fit Rasheed Walker in wherever. Who knows? Jordan Morgan may go out there and lay an egg, but based off what we've heard him say, what we've heard the team say, and what we've seen in preseason, to me, he looks like a totally different football player at left tackle. And again, I'm not saying that he should be the third or fourth backup at any position. I'm simply saying if all the starters, all 5 starters are healthy, I want him to just be the backup left tackle and go with it. So what you guys said about Zack Tom being out, I think, Jacob, you were the one who said it, get Anthony Belton out there. I'm completely on board with that. Belton or Kennard, and stop playing these games with Jordan Morgan. He is not a right side offensive lineman.
Yep.
And people are probably going, man, Clayton's coming down hard on Morgan. I'm not. I'm actually defending him. It's absolute ass cheeks that he's kind of, you're ruining his confidence. You're destroying a young player who I think will be a great left tackle because you just want to kind of be cute and fit him in here or there. I don't know how you guys
feel obligated because you picked him in the first round, and you're putting this unnecessary pressure on yourself to make him see the field, and it's hurting your football team. It's not just hurting Jordan Morgan. I think it's hurting us offensively as well, and it's doing a disservice to him as a player. I think you're right about that, Clay. I mean, left guard even looked shaky for him. I mean, he is a pure left tackle, and I think it's evident and obvious at this point, right?
Yeah, and that's what the chat's pretty much saying. Coach Lynn says you just keep Morgan on the left side, period. I can tolerate that, Coach. I'm with you there, right? And then H.E. Solder said, I can take Morgan at left guard because it is that left side, right? And that way you can continue to hone those skills, Jacob, as you potentially step into the left tackle spot next year, rather than trying to relearn the footwork on the right side and all this and that. So what do you think, Jacob? How do you feel about that, man?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Walker has at least deserved up to this point to still maybe keep that start and see if he can bounce back and prove us all wrong. Because let's not forget, that whole starting line was booty cheeks. And it was tough to watch. Even the backups, obviously Tom having that zero passing grade from PFF, obviously not his fault when you go out after one play. I agree with chat and what Tim was saying. I want to see Belton on that right-hand side. I mean, that's what we drafted him for. We got Morgan for the left side, specifically left tackle. Obviously, if Sheed's good to go, I think left guard is the next best thing for him. We talk about how a lot of people think you can just switch from one side to the other. That's just not the case. The old adage goes, you ever try to switch wiping your hand with the other hand? It doesn't go too well sometimes. So for him to just expect to be plugged in and played and to perform well is just not fair. Not fair for him, regardless if he's a first-round draft pick, a second-round draft pick. In Belton's case, these guys have a specific and a preferred position. I think that Jordan Morgan is even on record saying, I want to play left tackle. That's what I played most of my life. So I think that we got to put him in a position to succeed, not to fail.
Yeah, Billy, I want to get your take, but the prerequisite here that you cannot mention Travis Glover. Go ahead, sir.
Oh,
it's his birthday.
That was like the peak of my argument. Anyway, it's Morgan's kick step just seems so much more comfortable when he's kick stepping with his back left. It seems unbelievably more comfortable for him. And even when he was on the right tackle side, he can get out in space. They did a little toss crack or whatever it was to Jacobs, and he got on the outside and he closed on that corner and sandwiched the guy. So it's like he has that ability. He's mobile, but his left side kick step is 1,000 times better than his right, and I think it just feels a lot more comfortable. I said before this week, as far as I want him to go is right guard. We bring him over to right tackle, and honestly, let's just remove that right guard. I'm where coach is. Was going to say, let's not move him past left guard and just bounce him between those two. But then you're looking at, hey, you've kind of banked on Rasheed Walker playing, and you paid Aaron Banks, so someone's going to have to be losing their spot if that's really what we want from Morgan.
Chase Green says, hey, Clayton, I like Belton at right tackle. Let's run some pin and pull with Belton lead block backers. Hey, see, that's the epitome of put a player in position to do what he does well. That's the type of offensive lineman he is. He's a physical guy. We've seen him get out there and pancake backers and safeties in the preseason, right? That's what he does well. Put all these guys, try to put every player on that field in the best position to do what they do best, right? That should be the ultimate goal. And I understand, listen, you got to ask these guys to do things that they maybe aren't as good at doing. That's the game of football. but the game plan should be geared around how do we – it's just – I use this analogy all the time, but it's like sighting in a rifle. It's okay, that didn't work. Let's go back 2 more clicks here and getting that thing zeroed into where the whole unit, right, the offense as a whole and defensively as well, everyone, you've got them as close to the center as possible for this thing to work the way it's supposed to work. It's easier said than done, but I agree with what you're saying there, Chase, for sure. Moving along to the rest of the injury report here. Let's just rattle through it real quick. We've got a couple chats marked. We'll hit that, and then we'll move on to the PFF preview. So Aaron Banks did not participate with the groin. Anthony Belton was limited with the ankle. Carl Brooks limited with the foot. Javon Bullard still in concussion protocol, so he did not practice. You got John Fitzpatrick with the groin is limited. Nate Hobbs, full participation there, still kind of recovering from the knee. Josh Jacobs with the ankle limited. Tucker Kraft with the knee/elbow limited. You got Jordan Love with the left thumb, full participation. Bo Melton, full participation. So Bo Melton's about to come off of that off the injury report, I would imagine, here real soon. Micah Parsons limited with a back injury. Maybe that's what we were seeing there on Sunday, guys. Remember we talked about he looked exhausted. He looked, kind of on the sideline. You could see him kneeling down, almost looked like he was hurt or stretching. Then we thought, I guess he was exhausted. Maybe there was a little tweak in the back there. That would make sense. Zack Tom with the oblique obviously did not participate. Rasheed Walker and Devontae Wyatt were both limited. Walker had a quadricep and Devontae Wyatt had the knee, but it sounds like they feel pretty good about where Devontae Wyatt is. I was a little concerned with him coming out of that game. Now, in terms of the Dallas Cowboys, you got Tyler Booker, tackle with the ankle, did not participate. He's pretty much going to be out, it sounds like, to the best of my knowledge. He had a high ankle sprain. Same thing with CeeDee Lamb, not participating. I believe both of them were diagnosed with a high ankle sprain, probably 3 to 4 week injury, so you don't have to worry about those 2 guys this week. You got Deron Bland, who was limited with the foot. Trequezie Bridges, cornerback with the knee, limited. And then Trayvon Diggs, cornerback with the knee, did not participate. Dallas is banged up. It's funny, you look at our injury report and you look at theirs and you think, oh, we're in trouble. I kind of feel like it's the opposite. They got some key players that are pretty much guaranteed to miss this game, as were the Packers. You're going to kind of mix and match some of this offensive line. You guys got anything else you want to add there to the injury report, boys?
No, I would agree with your point about Dallas. I mean, the list is shorter, but it looks a little bit more serious. And, guys that are limited or not participating at all, compared to our list where we've got guys that are getting back to full participation. You got guys like Bullard, protocol kind of issue. That's a day-to-day thing. Let's see if he clears. There is a chance he clears and plays Sunday. We've seen that. We saw that with Quay last year, had a nasty concussion and played the next week, was able to clear the protocol and not miss a game. So it does happen. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about Diggs and Lamb. Those are 2 key players, both sides of the ball for Dallas. So I think the injury bug is probably going to affect them a little bit more than us.
Definitely. All right. Anything else, boys? You good?
Just worried about Bull, hoping he's all right.
Yeah.
Get through that concussion, make sure that he's all good. Because I just love the way he plays, man. He is not afraid to stick his nose in there and make a tackle, close in on a guy. And he's been playing pretty. Not his grades might not be the bbest, but I feel like he's been playing pretty decent there in the slot. So just hoping he gets back. To
me, the thing that scares me about Bullard is he's kind of in between, right? It's like he's a linebacker stuck in a corner's body, right? So his coverage isn't good enough to really play a very high level of corner or safety. His strength is in the run game, but, when you're asked to play the slot, man, this league is tough. You got people, especially in the North, like Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? You got DJ Moore in Chicago. You've got, I'm sure, and Vikings are about to get Jordan Addison back, right? They moved JJ around, and then they got, Addison that plays the slot a lot as well. So it's tough, man. It is. I'm with you though, Amelia. I love the way he plays the run, man, for sure. Let's go to the chat real quick and wipe these out. Daryl, good to see you, buddy. I was worried about you a couple episodes ago, man. Good to see you. And I know you were in here last night. I didn't get a chance to shout you out. He says he's viewing or watching this live chat on a bigger screen, and it's so cool seeing all the comments go through on there. That's awesome, man. Got it on the big screen tonight. Got PTA up. I love the setup. Who was it the other day that showed the setup for the game? They were our pregame show, and then they had something else on another TV in their living room, 2 big screen TVs.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who that was. That wasn't CJN, was it?
It might have been. Yeah. But, J. Cole says, thank goodness for this show. I've dealt with a bunch of emotional as fans today. Man, I'll tell you, I don't want to spend any time on the show talking about it, to be honest with you, Jay. But thank you for the compliment. Yeah, it's rough out there on them Twitter streets. I know that, man. You literally go from we're winning the Super Bowl to fire everybody in the damn building in 1 week. from
Heard
a
it from a
3-point
fan right here.
Brambo says y'all are kind of overreacting to a terrible week. See, that's what's hilarious too, is he's saying we're overreacting to a terrible week, and you would not believe the messages I've got that's telling me that I'm being fake and not being hard enough on the team, that this was a horrible. So, Brambo, I would love for you to meet the people that are telling me I'm being too easy on the team. So that would be really cool. But anyway, appreciate you hopping in here, not man. Nick McSwain says, doesn't seem like anyone here is overreacting. LOL, we have potentially 2 missing linemen. And again, man, everybody's dealing with injuries, right, Nick? But if you see it, you got to say it, you know? And that was a good defensive line. That was a damn good defensive line. I mean, you heard Baldy say he thinks it's the best defense in the league. I'm a little too drunk to taste that chicken, but I do think they're top 5. You know, Ed Madden said Belton has a nasty streak I love. Completely agree with that comment as well, man. Belton's a lot of fun to watch for sure. Now, with that nasty streak, what do you get, guys? Undisciplined football sometimes, right?
Yeah. Like
Jacob knows all about it, man.
Yeah.
Jacob knows all about it. Some of the best employees out at the office, they're a little aggressive, right, Jacob?
We got to put them in their place, Clayton. You know what?
What are you talking about? That's my job.
BTA, baby. BTA.
Built to have.
Built there.